Good afternoon, Miss E. After conducting a moderation session with our focus group in class, we have done a survey about work-life balance and vacation. The purpose of our survey is to understand people's working patterns and lifestyle nowadays. In the end, we have gathered a total of 160 respondents. So here we are presenting our result in an infographic with the topic of should vacation exist? Well, based on our survey results, 59% of the respondents are women and 41% are men. As we expected, most of the respondents are from Malaysia, which hold 85% out of all the respondents, and we have 15% of the respondents are from the other countries such as Hong Kong, Indonesia, China, India, Pakistan, Singapore, and Thailand. For the survey results, 71% of the respondents are in the age of 18 to 24, and 29% of respondents are in the age of 25 and above. In terms of employment status, 56% of the respondents are full-time students. 39% of respondents are employed, including like full-time, part-time, freelancer, business owner, internship, and self-business. And only 5% are unemployed.
Next, understanding your working patterns. We all know that different occupation requires different amount time of work, and some people they actually enjoy working for a longer time, while some people they prefer to balance out their time for work and life. From this 160 result from the survey, it shows that the majority 40% of the respondents work 5 days a week. Also, the majority, which is 53% of the respondents, they work 5 to 8 hours a day. From this result, we can tell that actually the majority of the respondents they have a fixed schedule for their work, which allows them to have a better time management to let them know when is the time to work and when is the time for their own life. Not only about the amount time and days spent in working, but also having a good environment affects the performance and efficiency of work. From the survey, a very shocking result shows that 70% of the respondents actually prefer working at home. I believe that this is because working from home requires lesser time. Because the time we spend, for example, the time we spend to prepare ourselves and the time we use to travel to the office is not required or is lesser. Also, I believe that it's more comfortable because we are working in a place that we are familiar, that we get used to eat, sleep, and stay in the place. However, many people's working patterns are actually affected due to the pandemic. But does people work less or more during the pandemic? Now, let's see the result before and after pandemic. According to the statistic, 29% of the respondents did work extra time before the pandemic. But comparing to the working patterns before pandemic, there's a total of 38% of the respondents did work extra hours after the pandemic, which is 9% higher. From this result, we can see that actually the pandemic has caused the rate of working extra hours to be higher. They require more time to finish their work after the pandemic.
Hi, my name is Cliff, and I just want to say that your lifestyle determines how balanced you are in life and in work big time. So here, I wrote down some points that I want to talk about. This is what my part really relates to our life. So first point is that overnight work. Why? We as university students, right, at least has this one experience where we did 4 weeks of work in one night, right? At least each of us has done it once or twice, right? I just want to say that that is not a good habit for you to have. It's going to be a snowball effect. It's going to be worse, worse, and worse. And no matter how busy we are, how stressful we all need balance in our life. Or let's just say a break. From results that we got from the respondents, right? 95% of the respondents do aware or do know how to balance their life. I mean, at least they do know how to balance life 101. I would say that because from the data that I got, 71% of them spent their free time or like leisure time on movies, 58% out of them spend their time staying up a bit late only for relaxation. So staying up late for take a break lah. So that's a good thing. Another thing I wanna bring up here is sleep. So I was talking about balance, right? Sleep is a major thing for you to have. We as human beings live in the cycle that we work this time and we have to take a rest this time, or else you wouldn't have enough balance in your life, or you wouldn't function that optimal in terms of productivity, in terms of family wise, or maybe a relationship. So that sleep is a major thing for you to have, or in other words, rest. From our respondents here, 30% of our respondents stay up late every night, and that's not a good thing. But thankfully, 3/4 of our respondents do have a 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and that's a good thing. They do have, if they work like 6 to 8 hours, they have a rest like 6 to 8 hours also. That's a good thing. Thankfully, our respondents do have that kind of life. And from here, I just want to say that some of you guys, most of us, already aware how to balance our life. Like if we reach one point that we are to overload or we are busted out, if that is the right thing to say, we do know the first step on how to balance life 101 if we are in that situation. So that's all for me. I pass it on to the next presenter. Thank you.
As my teammate had explained the data we collected from all the respondents, it shows their working patterns and lifestyles. From all the data above, we observed that most of our respondents are having regular working hours before the pandemic. But due to working from home, their workload increased, thus causing them to extend their working hours. Because the working hours become longer, they will also extend their rest time after work. They choose to stay up late for relaxations, which indirectly cause them work-life imbalance, but they didn't notice about that. Even though some of the respondents are in work-life imbalance, but 87% of them still believe in work-life balance. Our team believes that after the pandemic ends, the people who are in work-life imbalance could be back to normal lifestyle as they want to.
Okay, now we are moving to see how people view the trend of workation, whereby it requires us to work and travel at the same time. So the result from the survey is that 70% of the respondents believe workation has more advantages and 76% of them said workation should exist. So we can see majority of them are having positive thoughts towards the trend of workation, and I believe they are excited to experience workation because there are a total of 76% of the respondents say they would go on a vacation if they got a chance. From the positive results of the respondents, we can see that vacation are mostly productive and fun. 69% of them say vacation could increase work efficiency. Well, I think different environment can really give us more energy and productivity than just staying in the same office every day. Next, 46% said that vacation releases their stress. Truth to be told, work can be super stressful. That's why we often seek to travel around to release our stress. Also, we have 23% of people say vacation allows them to explore the world by traveling around. It is always nice to experience and feel the vibe and the culture of the other places to refresh our body and soul. So who knows, maybe it gives us more creative ideas for our work, or maybe even benefits to the employer.
Alright, finally let me give you all a brief recap of our findings. So out of the 160 respondents we got, most of them are actually Malaysian youth between the age of 18 to 24. So based on some of the questions we have asked about their working patterns and lifestyle, for example like their regular working hour and whether they work extra and do they stay up late and do they actually spend leisure time for themselves. And based on all those, we can conclude that youth nowadays who are yet to step into the workplace actually are having a slightly imbalanced lifestyle already. When they were asked, most of them agree that their personal and work life are somewhat overlapped and connected. Having said that, they still believe that work-life balance is achievable and generally have a positive impression about workation. In fact, 68% of them believe in work-life balance and at the same time agree that workation should exist. So in conclusion, we can say that work-life balance remains to be an ideal lifestyle for all, along with workation being the spice of work life. And that is it for our presentation. Thank you and see you.